Okay, it is officially time for our first tiny house repair, which is equal parts exciting and inconvenient because it would obviously be better if we didn't have these problems in the first place, but we are happy that they're getting fixed.
Welcome back to our channel. We're Steph and Katie, a married couple from Canada with a remote waterfront property on one of the Gulf Islands here in BC. We bought a bare lot 3 years ago, and this summer we finally had our brand new custom-built tiny house and office pod delivered. This was a huge project for us, and it has been an absolute dream come true to settle into our home and get our first taste of tiny house living.
So tomorrow we have a repair person coming, so we thought we would give you a little walk around and explain what's been going on, and then tomorrow we can show you when it's all complete.
All right, so one of the repairs we have is this spigot that's on the front of the house here. So the purpose of this is to connect a garden hose to the water that goes through our house. And what happened is on our delivery day, the house, when it was turning around at the end of the street, it got caught up into some bushes, which were apparently very strong because it not only scratched the cedar here, it also completely bent the spigot. One of the things that was a concern when this happened was the fact that this is a solid piece that goes right into the house and connects into our water system. So there was potential, if there was a hole in the pipe itself, that when we connected it to the water and turned on the water into our house, that there would actually be a leak. Luckily, they were able to do a test with an air compressor to make sure that there were no leaks through the pipe and that it was just bent and that we could use our water, because that would have obviously been a major issue to not even be able to use any of the water in our house right from the very start. So in order to do this repair, because it's a solid piece that goes into the house, it can't just be replaced on the outside. It's not just the spigot that needs to get replaced, it's the entire piece. They'll have to go into the house, and because this access is actually behind one of the wardrobes in the bedroom, that wardrobe will need to come off the wall, a panel will need to get cut out of that wall, and then access to the pipe is there. Luckily, there won't be any visible signs of a panel being cut out because the wardrobe will go back on, but it is a bit of a process to get this repaired, and it's not just as simple as changing the part on the outside.
Okay, so this is the wardrobe that needs to come out. It is, I guess, a good thing that they don't have to just make a hole in the wall. Luckily, it is behind the wardrobe, but taking this off isn't super easy. So the first thing we're gonna do is empty it all out, which is too bad because I have our clothes very nicely organized in here. I'm hoping I can fit most of it in this wardrobe, and what doesn't fit we'll put underneath the bed. We do have other storage in here luckily, and it should just take the day tomorrow. We also have our bins up top that we're using for laundry, so I'll move those also. So once this wardrobe comes out, he's going to cut a panel into the wall so that he can access everything from the inside. He's going to replace the full piece, the pipe, and the spigot for the front of the house, and then we can put this all back.
All right, it is a new day, 6 weeks later to be exact.
Yeah, we started filming this video so long ago,
Yes.
but we finally have an update.
We do have
several
update.
updates.
And we have good news. We're happy to report that the spigot has been fixed.
Yeah.
But there was a journey that we went on with it along the way. So it's been quite the adventure.
Yeah, we had to reschedule several times for a number of reasons.
4 times, I believe.
Yeah.
Is exact, yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, so it finally got done yesterday. It's finally completed, which is great. And yeah, I think in general, we've just spent the past couple months dealing with so many things that we just didn't anticipate needing to deal with, and we haven't really had a chance to like get into new projects or like work on the fun things that we were looking forward to. So that's kind of why we stopped updating as well, because we just needed a minute. It's a lot of work, it's been a lot of stress, and yeah, I honestly, like, there's just been so many problems and so many things that have gone wrong. I think like all the time since getting our house, it's been 4 months now. I think this part, for me at least, has actually been more stressful than the actual part of like leading up to it, building the house and all of that. And I don't know if it's just because I was calibrated for that stress and this
Yeah,
I like
maybe.
wasn't expecting to have so many problems. So many things go wrong, so many surprises. Like I just wasn't expecting it. And so it's been like this has been the hardest part, I think.
Yeah, I think, of course, there's going to be little issues and little problems here and there, but I think
But
with
all at
anything
once
like
right
that, that's true.
away.
With anything like that too, like you hope that everything can just be fixed and dealt with like quickly, and
Yeah.
I think that's been the hardest part is
Yeah.
especially when it becomes so time consuming to just get things fixed.
Yeah, things that we never thought we would need to get fixed. Like
Yeah.
I didn't think we would still be here months later
But
trying
it
to
just
deal with
adds on
things.
that extra time
Yeah,
to so
exactly. Yeah. So
yeah.
obviously the damage on the house has been like really frustrating. It's still not all fixed. Like we just have the spigot fixed now. We still have
Yeah.
all the other damage to the wood that needs to get fixed. So that's something else that still needs to get dealt with. And then yeah, the whole thing with our shed and the pipe, which if
Yeah.
you've seen our other video, we have an update on that as well. But basically, when all of our well equipment was installed, it wasn't done properly, and we had a part kind of burst off and flooded our shed, our pump house outside. That was a whole thing if you want to go watch that video. But it all got fixed up and everything was good until it happened again.
Yeah.
And the
Surprise.
fix was not actually fixed and it exploded again and it flooded our shed again. And
Yeah.
there's just been a lot. There's just been a lot to deal with. So we thought we would update you today and walk you around and hopefully close this little chapter on these few things that we can take off the list. There's still more.
Yeah. All things related to water, I
Yeah.
think, are now dealt with,
Yeah,
which is
true.
good.
Yeah, cross our fingers that nothing
Yeah.
else goes wrong and then we can deal with the other problems and then hopefully move on to more fun things because we were really looking forward to getting into some more like enjoyable projects
Yeah.
this fall. So that's hopefully coming soon. So if you remember to fix the spigot on the outside of the house, they actually had to go inside through the wardrobe in the bedroom because that's where you could access the panel. So not ideal, but this whole wardrobe had to come off the wall. I had unpacked it all 6 weeks ago, I suppose, and then I had put everything back in and taken it out and put it all back in several times at this point. So I am really excited that now I can put all of our clothes back in here. It's been many weeks of trying to share this one and having clothes just kind of everywhere. So I'm excited to like properly put everything back in here. But yeah, this came off the wall. They accessed the panel through here to replace the part, and all in all, it went pretty well. There are a couple little nicks and things that need to be touched up now, which isn't the end of the world, but we do have a few things to kind of fix up now. But all in all, things went smoothly, and so now I can get our clothes back in here, which is really nice after all this time.
Okay, so I've got the old part in my hand here. As you can see, the handle completely broke off somewhere along the way when it got damaged. So, but it is interesting to see just what the part looked like and why it needed to go behind the wardrobe and through the house. This is a frost-free pipe. So it actually has a pipe inside the pipe, so the water completely drains out when you turn it off, which means the pipe won't freeze. So we had a little bit of trouble finding the right part. The first time the handle was blue on the part that was brought over, and of course, just to match the outside of the house, we wanted the handle to be black. The next time, the handle that we got had actually some paint chipped on the outside. So again, not ideal, but at that point, we were like, okay, let's just get this thing installed so we can move on. And I knew that I could paint it and fix it up, which is exactly what I did yesterday after it was installed. I covered up all around it and spray painted with flat black to kind of also match the exterior features. I painted over the handle and the back base here, and now it's looking good and covered and a little bit more cohesive with the other features on the outside of the house. So because the paint on this was chipped, you can still, if you look really closely, see the kind of imperfection. So it's not perfect, but it definitely looks okay, and we'll see it. We'll know it's there, but we're just happy to have it done and fixed up. Also, because of the way the part was kind of hit and bent, there is a piece of the wood panel here that's damaged still. Hopefully we can kind of get that tidied up as much as possible when we do the scratches on the side, but also that is still damaged, and there is a bit of a crack in this wood here as well. So again, not perfect, but definitely fixed up as much as possible.
Yeah, so it's definitely not perfect, but it's done now, which is good. And we can move on to getting the scratches on the wood fixed up. It's all been, I don't know, I know like we're being perfectionists and all of that, but it's hard with a project like this. We put so much money into it. Obviously, it's a really big deal for us. And you want to have the like perfect brand new, everything is exactly the way that you picked it out and everything like that. Like you want to have that for your house. And I just feel like we never got to have that because as soon as our house got here, we had all this damage. And now getting it fixed, like it's still just not ever going to be back to the way that it was. And that's just something we have to deal with, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously
disappointing.
It's a lot of money. It's also, we took so much time and we were so thoughtful about every detail for the house in the way that it was all designed. So I think there is a certain kind of ownership and there is a certain kind of closeness that you feel to it, of course. So it is hard to see when new things are damaged like that, especially new, very expensive things. So yeah, it's been a lot to kind of wrap our heads around and reconcile, but
yeah, and it's just like it was so avoidable. Like it was just a silly mistake and it was so avoidable, and it would have just been really nice had it not happened. And also just had it been easier to deal with, it just hasn't been easy to deal with at all. It's been
time consuming.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah, so I don't know. There's just so much, and I don't want it to seem like we're complaining or anything. Obviously, we're so grateful to have been able to do this and all of that, but we did say we would share our honest experience, and this has been such a big part of it. And I think anyone thinking of doing anything like this, it's important to know like that things can go wrong and just how stressful it can be and how time consuming and how much of your life it can take up, because I think we really allotted this past year like the time it would take, and we carved that time out in our life, and we knew it would be a lot and we knew it would be stressful and all of that. But I only allotted for like up until the house got delivered. I thought from then on it was just like we can go at our own pace and do projects as we feel like it, but we can just take a break for these last 6 months of the year. And we just haven't been able to do that at all. This part has been even more stressful, and we've just been really kind of burnt out and over it and not wanting to deal with these things, and it's been tough, and I wasn't ready for that.
Well, I think that's one of the things you don't necessarily think about, but is important to recognize with doing something like a tiny house that is built elsewhere and then brought to your property. Unlike a traditional, stick build or even a prefab home that you would have someone come and like assemble on site, that contractor or that builder can just come to your house and fix the problem once it's here. But when we bring the house from somewhere else, it's way more complicated to get the builder to come or to get someone from the company to come.
Yeah.
So usually that means contracting it out. That is possible if you're nearby, of course, but usually it means contracting it out to someone else. And
who doesn't totally know. I mean, it's the same with our well equipment, right?
Yeah.
Like even the company who did that was like close by, but not on this island. So they never came. I still think they should have, but they never came to even look at it. So then we have someone else fixing it who didn't install it. And it's just hard. It's just harder. And like,
it's just so many extra pieces and so much extra communication, trying to coordinate everybody and figuring out what needs to happen. And then obviously that leads to delays and miscommunication.
Yeah, it's been a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, so why don't we walk you over to the shed and we'll show you what happened there, because that's been another piece of this, but that's finally done and we haven't had any issues with it since. So that's good.
All right, so a quick recap if you don't know the full story. Basically, our well equipment is all housed in this pump house, and we had an issue with this pipe right here. This is the one that kind of comes through from our well equipment down underneath and then extending into the house. This was a pressure system, and it burst off, and then all the water came spewing out of here instead of going down into the pipe. The whole shed was flooded. What happened when it was repaired the first time was basically we got this. Theo's going to tell you all about it. We got this part just reattached and tightened because it looked like it just wasn't tightened enough. We were told this should be good. We kind of had concerns about maybe having a system that was a little bit more secure, thinking that we would have pipe that extended up a little further, because that was also one of the other issues that we were told about with the installation.
I don't love thinking that it could come off again, even though we saw him tighten it, and like I don't think it will. But
no, it's like pretty secure, but it's also still like knowing that there should be more pipe in there is a little bit concerning. So after we had that initial repair, we things were going pretty well, and I believe it was a few weeks later where the same problem happened. We went to turn on the water in the house. There was nothing, and I thought, okay, this has probably happened again. Luckily, we had learned our lesson about keeping things on the floor of the shed. I did come out here, and once again, water was rushing out of the door of the shed, and there was a huge puddle outside. So we don't really know how long this was going for because it was actually first thing in the morning that we recognized it. So unfortunately, the water could have been flooding for, potentially all night. So when we had this fixed again, we had them extend the pipe up so that there is actually more pipe in there. And instead of doing a pressure system that basically just clamps on, we have one that is screwed on. So there are threads around there. Ideally, it's not going to come off. It's not going to go anywhere. It's very secure. There are no leaks. Everything looks good and has been good for a little while now. So that's great.
Okay, well, I think you were all caught up on the updates for now. I wish we had more fun updates or just more fun news in general. I don't know. Yeah, we just weren't expecting it. Obviously, we know that there are going to be problems and issues and things we're going to need to get fixed, and there's going to be wear and tear on the house, and it's not going to be perfect forever, and all these things. But I just think we weren't ready to deal with so many problems so soon after getting our house. It's just been like one thing after another, truly.
Hopefully, when we're on the other side of all the little things, then we can just have a little bit of time where it's just smooth sailing, fingers crossed.
Yeah.
And we are kind of preparing for all the fun projects. We've bought some things in terms of like decorating. Yeah, we have some fun things on the horizon, so that's going to be exciting.
Yeah, I'm ready for the fun stuff. And yes, hopefully smooth sailing. I would love that. I would love for things to just be...
I think we're on our way. I'm hopeful. Yeah, I'm optimistic.
I hope so. So we will leave it there today. And yes, we will hopefully have some fun videos coming for you soon. And I think that's it.
Yeah, so make sure you're subscribed so you can catch those when they come out.
Yeah.
And we'll see you really soon.
Yeah.
Bye.
All right. Bye.